Coming up,
microbes do a lot of the work in all aspects of life, not only for the soil, but for animals.
What we're recommending to producers actually works.
learn how the smallest organisms make the biggest improvements in your crop and beef production. Next on The American Rancher. Hello and welcome to another episode of The American Rancher. I'm Pam Minick. Whether rancher or farmer, agricultural producers are on the front line of a steadily intensifying battle to produce more food on less acreage. The quality of agricultural soil is quickly becoming ground zero in that struggle. Microbes are a critical component to the sustainability of life. And over the past century, microbes essential to maintaining productive and efficient soils have steadily declined because of conventional agricultural practices. The lasting effect is a reduction of efficiency in meat and crop production. A primary mission of BioSI technology is to rebuild, restore, and renew soils damaged by long-term ag production. And ongoing research keeps BioSI on the cutting edge of microbial inoculation programs that restore agricultural soils to peak performance.
So every product that we have has a good diversity of microorganisms. The idea is that the microbes in the mix, they're just working in the soil ecosystem. They're helping anything that's growing.
One of the things that we realize is that microbes do a lot of the work in all aspects of life, not only for the soil, but for animals, because when animals eat grass, they pull up part of the plant roots and get the dirt into their mouth, and there it contains the microbes. If the soil is depleted in microbes, that means a lot of animals are not going to be getting the beneficial microbial populations that they used to get 50, 60 years ago.
Well, it's part of our philosophy is that, some of the compounds that are made by certain microorganisms help out with the growth of other microorganisms, and this is something that's well documented. So we think that having a diverse blend of microbes not only has the benefit of getting a diverse blend to keep things in check in the soil, but also to stimulate some of the native microbes that are beneficial in the soil. So it's part of an overall crop management program. Microbial inoculants work very, very well.
The BioSI team works one-on-one with producers to match a microbial inoculation program to specific needs and budgets. BioSI's soil improvement programs begin with a collection of essential microbes that grow naturally in humus-rich virgin topsoil. Microbiologists harvest, grow, and formulate the right balance of multiple species of microbes that are necessary for healthy agricultural soil. And then, microbes that have been depleted as the result of years of heavy agricultural production are replenished. BioSI does this in 3 steps, and over time, a BioSI microbial inoculation program will regenerate your production land with humus-rich topsoils that hold moisture and nutrients and make fertilizer programs much more efficient.
Our 3-step program has our BioSI Select, which is our seed inoculant. This is used for treating seeds and transplants as they're going into the ground. This product has endomycorrhizae, or our fungi that get into plant roots and extend the effective root zone of those plants. And this will allow the plants to take up more water and more nutrients, so like phosphate, into the plants. Step 2 is our agricultural formula. It's used during the growing season to keep up the numbers of bacteria, the diversity, and to help with nutrient cycling and help out compete pathogens that might get into the system. And our 3rd step is the SD25 field stubble digester that helps break down any debris that's left over post-harvest and get those nutrients that you've already paid for back into the soil.
Recently, BioSI participated in a field day hosted by Severin Peanut Company in Pikeville, North Carolina, to demonstrate BioSI's ongoing commitment to research and development of new products.
It's good to get into the field and actually see it. You know, a lot of people think of the research that we might do as, you know, being a lot of laboratory-based stuff. So actually seeing our product being used and seeing it do its work, it makes a big difference.
Soybeans, peanuts, and corn grown in carefully controlled research plots in multiple locations are ready for their examination before harvest. The goal of the plots is to test crops grown with controlled sets of nutrients, along with various formulations of BioSI microbial inoculants, insecticides, and herbicides. The research crops will be replicated in stationary plots for multiple years, ensuring that the team gains statistically valid information.
So this is the what we're calling Tucker Special, after our founder and CEO who passed away earlier this year. It's a experimental inoculum and an Admire Pro insecticide, so grower standard with a little added benefit on the inoculum side. But we've got some monster peanuts here. We've got roots here that are just covered on every side possible with nodulation, and that's really what we want to see here. So I'm really happy with this plot. I think this combination would do really well for a producer.
Hey, have you ever been whacked in the eyeball with one of these?
Yeah.
Oh, they'll slice your eye good.
The benefit of using the BioSI technology program over hard chemistry or amendments is that our program increases the efficiencies of the plant and soil nutrients. When we can increase the efficiencies of the plant, we in turn benefit the natural immunity in plant processes. It is an entirely proactive method of production agriculture. One of the most noticeable differences we were able to see between the corn plots was the condition of the plant and its ability to continue to produce given the same environmental stresses.
So that's a ready coat.
Look at that, to the
That's
end.
a ready coat in 16.
The full ear.
That's ready
Full
coat
ear.
in 16, and I mean hot, dry weather.
That's that's all the way to the tip. These look like pretty good beans.
Oh, they're really good.
The BioSI treatment plots contained healthier looking plants and more robust root systems, and the kernels on the ears were fuller and more complete, translating into a higher yield at a fraction of the cost of traditional production inputs.
One of the things that you hear farmers complain about all the time is they harvest and they have a tremendous amount of trash or plant stubble that's left behind. So we looked at all these different areas where we could make specialty products to handle those. Ag Formula for the soil, our Ag Select to help in the rhizosphere, you just dribble it right over the seed, and our SD25 to help break down plant stubble and things like that. And those were our primary products to begin.
And one way we can ensure a higher yield at a fraction of the cost is by recycling nutrients back into the soil by converting the former crop's plant residue into usable soil humus and nutrients.
Right here, you still see the old, that's soybean stalk there.
This conversion and money savings is achieved by a single post-harvest application of SD25.
You've spent money to put nutrients into the ground to grow the crop. You can use SD25 to reuse all of the elements that plant used to grow. In other words, your fertilizers, your nitrogen, phosphate, your potassium, and all the trace elements can be reutilized if you can break that down to where it can be reused by the next crop.
Yeah.
And so it saves the farmer money, and it also adds humus to the soil.
That's what SD25 should be doing for you right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So let's look at the check over here and see what we
All right.
see. You'll see where
Throughout all of our plots, one common theme is healthier plants. Producers save an extraordinary amount of money because they do not need to apply pesticides or fungicides as they would in conventional production where the crops are stressed and unhealthy. In production fields that have adopted our program and follow our recommendations, we hear time and time again that they are not having to spray insecticides and fungicides as often or have completely stopped. We have reports from producers in other crops, like tobacco, that have drastically reduced or completely eliminated the use of gas fungicides for molds, etc.
Coming out here and being able to see these research plots here close to the finalization and harvest part of the production system, you know, seeing the different rates and recommendations really gives us confidence and lets us know that what we're recommending to producers actually works. So there's a connection between what goes on in this field and what goes on in every production field that we consult with and that our products are used on, because they're completely connected. And that's some of the reasons that continuous research and product development is so paramount to BioSI technology.
To learn more about BioSI, log on to biositechnologies.com. Coming up after the break, Superior Sunrise's Kirby Schnorr and I take a trip back in time. Stay with us.